Let's fly high in the sky. Let's see crow as the crow flies. This is the broadcast. We may be the outcast, but we'll outblast and we outlast anyone in the lane of the podcast. This is my show. If you don't know now, you know. We're gonna go to the peak. So high, we may see Jay Creek. But never mind that. Talk about the facts of politics. And so they sneak tricks. They hide behind the wall. And the American great game of football. It's still a nation around here. Black and yellow, black and yellow. If you don't know now, you know. Oh yeah, religion. Yeah, we talk about religion and other topics too. As the Crow Flies podcast. Let's go, let's go, let's go. As the Crow Flies podcast. Let's go, let's go, let's go. As the Crow Flies podcast. Let's go, let's go, let's go. As the Crow Flies podcast. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the most incredible podcaster of them all, Mr. T. Crow. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention he's very, very handsome.
Oh yeah. Welcome, people, and I'm glad you're here. You know what? Funny things have been happening. Listen, and I can't talk about everything, but I can talk about some things. You understand me? Check this out. Tonight, we ain't going to talk about no war, no politics. We're not going to talk about shit that gets you upset. We're going to talk about some good things. Well, it might get you upset depending on what you think. I only got like a half hour to do this, so I'm solo, as you can see. I'd like to welcome you guys to the Crow Flight Podcast. You catch us on Spotify, iHeart, YouTube, Spreaker, Facebook, anywhere you find your podcast. I want to talk about the NBA and the eras of the NBA. You know, I got a couple buddies that hit me up and say, they know I'm a Jordan fan, right? And so they go there and they be like, he played the most watered down era. I'm like, how do you figure that? And they were like, well, during his era, they had more expansion teams. So they try to negate Jordan's dominance. I'm not here to debate that. You understand me? He went 6 for 6 in finals. I don't care if it's playing against children as blind as sisters or the local Salvation Army League. He went 6 for 6. But when you talk about the eras, and I want to talk about from 80s to 90s, and then 90s to the 2000s. So it's like that's 20 years. And then we're going to talk about the 2000s to present. That's why I'm going to describe the eras. If you got something else to say, call in 937-926-1641, and we'll put you on here and we can have a discussion about it. But anyway, 80s and 90s, listen, champions were bred. Which, what I mean, they weren't handpicked. You can't go to this team or that team and say, you know what, I want to play with this dude, or I want that dude to come play for my team. You had to be part of a team, and you know what? That goes to team empowerment, player empowerment. I get, and I like that. I like player empowerment, but at the same time, if you team jump and you go to a team that is already winning, and you go there and then y'all win like 2 or 3, what's it worth? Are you Magic? Are you Bird? Are you Jordan? Are you Kareem? No. Are you Iverson? No. But what I want to say is this, that I'm not even going to talk about team jumping because it's going to upset some people out there, because we know a lot of people's out there, their favorite player team jump, which I get. And I'm not upset at that, because if I was allowed to do shit, I job jump. I do. We all do that. It's called upward mobility. Listen, we might go to another job that's going to pay us better, treat us better, and do what's right for us. It's not the championships we're chasing. We're chasing the championship of life, which I get. Okay, I get that. So I ain't mad for certain players moving from team to team and doing this and that. But there's a better level of respect for the player or the person that stays and goes through the grind and builds that team to a championship. So that's why a lot of people say Steph Curry gets a lot of credit. Steph Curry is not greater than Magic Johnson as a point guard. But what Steph Curry is doing is he's changed the game. He's the greatest shooter of all time. We get that. But what he's doing is Magic's the greatest passer, greatest point guard at 6'9". So they both have their attributes. But what Steph is doing is, in an era of team switching, he stayed course. He stayed the par. He stayed the course. And they're giving him a lot of credit for that right now, which I understand. I will give him a lot of credit for that too. He has 4 championships with the same team, Draymond. But it was asked by a question by Zeke, what if KD never came there? Do they have 4? You know, that remains to be seen. There's a lot of ifs and whatnots with that. So, but we admire Steph for sticking out. And in this era, it's called the LeBron James era. Well, you got another superstar that has the same amount of rings as you, and Kawhi's right behind you, and you know Kawhi got hurt, and he did this, that, and the third. But during Jordan's era, you had Magic, Bird. Magic set the standard at 5. Kareem had 6, right? The era before that, they had 9 teams. Bill Russell had 11. Wow. He's the greatest champion of all times. That doesn't make him the greatest player. That makes him the greatest champion. So it goes without saying. So when Kareem was winning his championships, it was kind of crazy. You know, he's winning his championships, and he won one with the Bucks and 5 with the Lakers, right? The 5 with the Lakers, that's when Magic came, Worthy, Byron Scott, Cooper, the team. Well, they built it organically, and they did it. But what I want to talk about, I don't want to talk about championship teams and how they're built. I want to talk about the eras. See, I got a buddy that keeps telling me it's the most watered-down era when Mike played, because Jordan was the ultimate competitor. He was the ultimate winner. You know, he quit for 2 years. If he didn't, he'd have 8 in a row. But with that being said, let's talk about the eras. You look at the era back then. You couldn't be a 19-year-old, 6'3", 190. Listen, unless you're a phenomenal phenom, you can come and play. But most of them couldn't. Now, I was watching the draft last night, and every player was 6'3" to 6'5", wing player, weighing 190, 185 pounds. Back then, in the 80s, 90s, and 2000s, they were grown men. The league has gotten a lot younger, and it's not grown men playing. So when you say it's watered down, okay, what would you rather have? A watered down grown man protecting you, or a kid that weighs 6'3", 190? And listen, he don't have pro experience overseas. They're doing the league younger because it saves the owners money. They think it's more marketable. But back in the day, when the average age, that's why if you pay attention to what's going on, the Oklahoma City Thunders has the youngest team to ever win a championship. And it's gonna stay like that. Why? Because the league is a lot younger. It's a whole different league now. It's not the same league that we grew up watching, where grown men were playing. We're watching a league now that has gotten younger progressively, and now we have boys who haven't matured to be men yet. It is what it is. Anybody want to argue, like I said, or say something about the eras? I watched the team go 4 for 42 in threes. This is the way we're playing now. There's no physicality. And yes, there's a lot of injuries because of the shoes they're wearing. I don't know why these players are wearing low-cut shoes. It's fashionable and they're making money. I get it. They selling the shoes. But who's the number one shoe selling right now still? Time's up. Michael Jordan. He still has the number one shoe in the world selling. So, with that being said, listen, everyone's looking for the cash cow. LeBron was it. LeBron was a cash cow for the league, and they're giving him his props. And now he wants to retire after getting his just due. But I'm going to tell you something, people. Everybody calls me a LeBron hater. I'm not a LeBron hater. I'm one of his biggest fans. When he went to Miami, everybody was cussing him out. My little brother was cussing him out. They were all like, no. I said, no. Let him do it. Let him have his freedom. I was his number one supporter. The only thing people get on me about LeBron is because I say he's not better than Jordan. And they take offense to that. A lot of people, like, I ain't Stephen A. I'm not Skip. Hi, Kim. How you doing? I thought Andy's fucking clowns. But they always say that people get mad at them for saying that LeBron is not number one. Well, I posted a video, and you see LeBron in New York, and they were booing him and saying a lot of bad rhetoric towards him. And I don't agree with that. If you don't like LeBron, keep it to yourself. You don't know him as a man. You know him as a person. Keep that to yourself. But if you don't like the way he plays and his antics, which no one does, put that on the court. If he's on the court, then say something. But don't say something to the man like that. That was uncalled for. But what I'm saying here is that he's not the greatest of all time. And he's playing. The reason he's still playing, he's chasing Mike. He's going to try to get Mike with stats. Well, he has counting stats, right? And what that means is the more you play, the more these stats compile. Counting stats. That don't make you better. If anybody played longer, they had counting stats. Karl Malone played longer. Is everybody saying he's better than Mike? He got more points and rebounds and everything than Mike? No. They're counting stats. When you see a motherfucker play, you see him go out there and do what he does, listen, the eyeballs can tell you, you know what, I don't need stat sheet. I don't need an announcer. I don't need the bullshit that you're telling me. My eyes say he's the best. Like, you know, when you see a woman can see a man, this motherfucker could dress up in some bullshit, and she's like, I like him. He's not the richest. He's not the tallest. He's not the best built, but she likes him. Or a man can say, I like her. The eye test. And now we got an era where stats are easy to compile. Do you know how they give assists now? If you pass the ball to the guy and he takes 20 dribbles and does this or that, that's an assist. How many assists would Magic Johnson really have then? You understand? Nobody wants to talk about that. And then nobody wants to talk about the bad stats. We're in an era as to where if we talk bad about you, we're the problem. So we can't say this motherfucker missed 20 shots and you know what? You got to talk about the 3 he made. The 20 he missed, let that go. This is the difference in the eras. Man, these kids have got to become thick-skinned. They got to wake up. They're getting paid all the money in the world. Who cares? Take it. And in this era, if you watch the draft, the last 2 days, these kids are coming in, and this is who they're going to play against. Kids. Same size kids we played in high school. Back then, I could play against these dudes. I can't play against those men that were in the league. Buck Rogers, Charles Oakley, Charles Barkley, man, Jordan. These guys were men. That's the difference in the era. And this is what I want to talk about, the difference in the era. These are kids. And you want to call George era watered down? Nah. This is the weakest era in pro sports. And it's all because of the system. They want to get ahead of the game. And I get it. It's all about money. And there's so much money in sports because it's like gladiators. It's taking your mind off the wars. It's taking your mind off poverty. It's taking your mind off starvation. I get it. I get it. But when you say the weakest era in sports, do not talk about Jordan's era. They were grown men. I'm watching these guys get drafted. They're kids. And they could grow up to be great. We don't know. But you're playing against kids. These guys wouldn't have got drafted back then. I saw the number 8 pick. He averaged 12.9 points, 2.3 rebounds, and 3.9 assists. He went 8th. I'm like, what? My stats are better than that. I ain't even talking about me. You understand? This is some bullshit. But you want to talk about errors and say Jordan was a watered down error, and you look at the error now? I ain't talking about Jordan making him the greatest of all time. Oh, I'm talking about errors. I want everybody to understand that who don't want to listen. You had Charles Barkley down there. You had Ewing. You had Shaq. You had grown men with muscle. Larry Johnson, Lonzo Mourning. You understand me? Buck Rogers. You understand? You had Scottie Pippen on the wing. You had grown men you were playing against. And now I'm looking at these kids coming in. They're kids. Don't get me wrong. Who knows what they're going to turn out to be? But for the next 4 years, that's who you're going to be playing against till they mature into a grown man. This is the weakest era in basketball. And I ain't even talking bad about it. It is what it is. They're going to grow up, but damn, when Shai Gilgeous can take a team that's the youngest team in the league and take them to the championship, this can happen over and over and over. Because kids are in the NBA now, not grown men. And I don't care what anyone has to say about it. Call in 937-926-1641 if you have anything to say. Because I'm about to get off here. That is the difference in the eras, and the shit is shameful. It's supposed to be a grown man league. It's not. Man, I watch all these kids get drafted. I'm happy the kids getting drafted. Don't get me wrong. I wish one of my motherfucking sons would have kept playing basketball and got drafted. You understand? I would have loved that. Because this is easy to get into. They're taking kids. Back then, you had to be ready for some man. Ron Artest, you had Rodman. Man, you had a lot of motherfuckers down there. Yeah, they couldn't shoot the three. They didn't have to. Well, the way they're shooting the three now, really only one person's really doing it great, 2 or 3 people. Nobody's shooting the three. They shoot it, but they ain't shooting at a high clip. When you go 442, yeah, that really lets me know something. So people, start thinking. Step outside that box and start thinking, is it really all that? And since no one's called in, 937-926-1641, I'm about to get out of here. But I want y'all to know it ain't what it appears to be. And why am I the only one that sees that? And I ain't hating, no cap. The shit ain't for grown men. It's a bunch of kids playing AAU basketball. We're stopping and popping it to 3. Listen, Chet, 7'2". Shaq is 7'2". Okay, the game's evolved. Really? What would Shaq do to Chet? Okay, Chet take him outside. Chet ain't gonna make all them shots. Shaq's banging in inside. And gonna foul somebody out. Y'all ain't ready for this. I got all the stats. I got all the smoke. And when you're ready to come on, this is for everybody out there who want to talk that shit on Facebook. This, that, and the third. To defend your peoples, your teams, whatever. Holla at me. I ain't going nowhere. And with that being said, thank you for your support. I'll holler at you on Sunday. Got a lot of great shit to talk about on Sunday. We'll blow your mind with one of these topics. But holla at me on Sunday. Peace. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We're tuning out, but not for long.